Hi, I'm Steve from Montana Valley Hams. We're here today to give a little demonstration on how to properly reheat a ham and also on how to slice a ham. Over the years, we've had many questions about it. And I just wanted to start out by showing you this fully cooked ham that comes out of the smokehouse. And this is generally what you get out of a grocery store. We further process these and take all the fat and skin off them along with the ham hock and some other bones. Glaze them and send them with pineapple for you to enjoy. When you come into the kitchen, you want to have the proper stuff, items, pan being one of them, and then you also need to have one of our ham reheating bags that we provide for you. When you get a half ham sent to you, you have to remove all visible plastic. The reason we have extra bags for the ham is USDA requires you have 3 levels of protection for the ham when we ship them. The box being 1, this bag being 2, and then the cryovac bag, which is 3. When you get the ham, you want to make sure you remove all visible plastic on it. We put them in the tin foil to try to hold some of the glaze in it when you're cooking them. And so you take off the plastic on top and remove it from the cryovac bag with all the cherries and goodness on there. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. For reheating, make sure you take your bag and then you use your little twisty tie. All right, get rid of the plastic and then walk over to the oven and place her in. Usually for a half ham, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to reheat. And for a whole ham, it takes about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. This is typically what we call a shank half ham. And this here is what we call the butt ham. If you put these two together, it would look something like this. Our whole ham is here. You can see how this would be arranged here. We just cut this right down here, and then you have your shank and your butt portion. Right now, I'm going to start out with the shank portion on how to slice it. Shank halves are a lot easier to slice than any other portion of the ham. Basically, you can take your, if you're using a fork, put your fork in here. You have your bone right here, running through the very end of it. And the easiest way to slice this is just to slice down on these all the way through. Just nice little sections right here. You can get a lot of slices right out of here, and just a nice portion of meat that you get. And you just keep cutting these slices right down, as many as you need, as thick or as thin as you need. And you end up with some nice slices of ham. Just set those out on the serving plate and make a nice display for your guests or your family. And then basically you just want to keep cutting straight back all the way to this bone here. So you end up with the bone here. And you use that in soup, ham and bean soup, whatever you want to use it in there. And there's quite a bit of meat on each side of the bone, as you can see. And just remember, you get as many slices as you want. Usually a half ham will feed 10 to 15 people, depending on how big of eaters they are. Now, I said earlier that butt halves are a little more tricky than shank halves. And that's because the bone doesn't simply stay at the back end of this one like it did with the shank half. The bone, as you can see here, this little round knob is the top of the hip. This goes right into the hip bone, which we remove. We call it the H bone too. And it comes out right over here on this end. So it's going all the way down here. And your sirloin, which is probably the tenderest part of the ham butt, follows that bone right down here. And what you want to do, you want to start at this round bone here and start slicing. Just slice that whole thing off. Just follow that bone right down to the end. And that takes off your sirloin. There's a little bone on the end here that sometimes gets in your way, and you want to discard that bone. Cut it off there. So there you go. You have the bone sitting right here, right up there, and we're going to start with the sirloin first. The sirloin is a darker piece of meat. I get a lot of people asking, they think this is burnt. This portion of the ham is burnt, and it's not. It's how it comes out of the smokehouse. You'll see it on every ham. There's just a lot of goodness in this part. It seals everything in, and your meat, as I'll show you, is absolutely sweeter and outstanding. I love it. And you can see up close, it's just it's darker than this other meat here from the shank portion. So the rest of this ham, what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow this bone right up and just cut alongside of it and get this big chunk over here off the bone. You're gonna have little pieces, little chunks that just fall off. And you can slice these up or throw them into a soup also. So I'll just set that over there for a minute. And what we want to do here is just kind of slice it the same way, down and up. You can see here the grain of the ham is running this way, and you always want to cut across the grain to make for nicer pieces. So your butt half, you're gonna get smaller pieces, but they're every bit as good. So we'll just cut off this end here. Then you just start slicing down with it. And it makes for nice little ham chunks. Again, you continue with the butt and just keep cutting right back to the end. On the other side, you can slice this little part here off the bone. Follow the bone again. Slice down on it. And usually the best, another good thing about the butt half that I like is you get this whole big piece to throw in a big pot of soup. Now let's take a look at the cooked ham. So now that we're taking the ham out of the oven, all you really have to do is just use your knife, cut this bag, and look at the beautiful ham there. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a little hot too, just so you know. All the ham glaze is down in the bottom of this tin foil. Make sure you keep it. You can use it later, or if you buy an extra bottle of glaze, now would be a wonderful time to add that to your ham. Basically, you want to take this ham, take it out of the tin foil, and place it onto the cutting board in the direction you're gonna slice from. If you want to eat the pineapple and cherry, go for it. Good stuff. And you also have a lot of the juices in here. You may want to pour them on top or use them to dip the ham into, or like I said, use the glaze if you want. So basically, if you remember, I told you the shank half has the bone in the back here. We just want to cut this right up there once again, and you just end up with nice juicy ham slices coming out of the ham. Just keep cutting it all the way back to the bone, and that's it. It's as easy as that. I hope this has helped you with some of your questions on how to slice a shank half or a butt half or a whole ham. If you guys have any questions, please go to montanavalleyhams.com and shoot us a note asking us whatever you need. And order a ham while you're at it. They're the greatest hams in the world. Make any occasion special with a Montana Valley ham. Thanks.